When faced with a wife's infidelity, would you choose to kill that man? Or would you choose to kill that man? When his wife Connie betrayed their marriage to pursue the thrill she'd never experienced. Entangling herself with Paul, a man more than a decade younger, Edward's world completely collapsed. The moment he confirmed Connie's affair, his rage erupted like an unstoppable volcano. He hired a private investigator to gather evidence. Those photographs, those details, each one was like a sharp blade, stabbing deep into his heart. He went to confront Paul, initially just wanting an explanation. But when Paul brazenly flaunted his relationship with Connie, Edward's rational defenses completely shattered. He grabbed a heavy object within reach and struck Paul with it until he stopped breathing. The next second, his young son's face flashed through his mind. He abandoned the idea of calling the police, and with trembling hands, cleaned up the crime scene. After loading Paul's body into his car, he forced himself to appear calm as he rushed to his son's performance. Connie, still in the dark, gently held his hand. As they watched their son's innocent performance on stage, Edward put his arm around his wife's shoulder, trying to mask the agony of his near-minus collapse. But the unspeakable bitterness was impossible to suppress. That night, while Connie slept, Edward secretly drove to a large landfill and frantically dumped the body. But the weight of his conscience left him unable to eat or sleep. During the day, Paul's image haunted his mind relentlessly. He could only silently pray that the body would never be discovered. But fate had other plans. A week later, Paul's body was accidentally discovered. When the police tracked down Connie through phone records, Edward's eyes trembled violently as he involuntarily glanced at his wife. Connie nearly fainted upon hearing the news, but forced herself to remain composed, lying that she and Paul were just ordinary friends. This made Edward's heart instantly tighten. Seeing the police's persistent questioning, he quickly interrupted, terrified of revealing the slightest flaw. The officers had no choice but to leave with a few reminders, though the crushing weight in both their hearts didn't ease one bit. The moment Edward left, Connie couldn't hold back her tears, grieving both for Paul's death and terrified of what she had done, dreading that her husband might discover her secret. But she never imagined that when she went to the dry cleaners to pick up her husband's clothes after calming down, a brown envelope would suddenly catch her attention. Opening it, she found it filled with photos of her dates with Paul. The massive shock swept over her like a tsunami. Only then did she realize her husband had known everything all along. What frightened her even more was that the crystal globe she had given Paul had mysteriously appeared in their home. She looked at Edward in disbelief, and from his evasive eyes, she instantly understood the truth.